All right. And hello. We can't get started without my signature. Hello. And welcome to yet another session of Tarot Spills the Tea. Ready or not, here she come. We can't hide. She's gonna find us and make us love her. Okay? Who is her? That is Garcelle Beauvais. Alright? I practiced saying her last name, y'all. Beauvais. French. Alright. What's the real deal behind Garcelle's energy? More pointed, though, my question is at Erika. This is a tarot reading which will show us a different point of view, whether we like it or not, whether we embrace it or not. I asked and called upon Garcelle's energy, and before I say more, let's get this party started, okay? Let's sage this out. Now you already know, and if you don't know, now you're gonna know that I must introduce myself. I am Indigo Sage, an awakened soul. I do have a spiritually based website at unapologeticallysage.com, and it touches on a lot of subjects, and one of them is humor. All right, finding the humor in your awakening. All right, because when it first happens, it can be scary. And I have a whole page dedicated to the humor of it all, and that is the memes page, which is called Morning Muse. The Morning Muse tab at unapologeticallysage.com has nothing but funny memes. You want to know why? I love memes. A lot of them, they make me laugh. All right. So if you just want to look at something to laugh at, something light, all right, that's not saying the world around us is crumbling, while you drink your coffee, you can go to unapologeticallysage.com, click on that Morning Muse tab, and just laugh a little bit before work or before beginning your day, period. All right. You can also find Unapologetically Sage on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. This is an installment of the series, The Days of Their Lives. All right. And as I already stated, I was inspired by Erika Jane to come up with this series, The Days of Their Lives, because I wanted to dive into the way the women in her cast are reacting to what's going on. So then was born this series, The Days of Their Lives. Now, one thing that I want to draw attention to is the victims. Okay, this crime has victims. The victims are some cancer patients, some burn victims, and the plane crash families. That's mostly what we hear about is the plane crash families, but there are other victims, okay? And I just would like to ask that we all just remember to send prayers up for the victims of this embezzlement crime that has been alleged against Tom Girardi and, Erika's involvement. All right. So just step away from the person we see on TV because it's not about this bitch really. And let's remember to send a prayer. If you don't pray, well wishes, whatever it is, good, positive, high vibrational energy that these victims will get what it is that they need. okay, on a day-to-day basis. All right? Now, again, this is an installment for the days of their lives. This is Tarot Spills the Tea, but it's the days of their lives edition. Which is not to say that Erika is lying or is a liar. But we all know some things didn't add up to us. So this is a series, as I said, to see, how her cast is acting in regards to all of that. Let's go.
But first, before we continue, what I need you all to do is bring your beautiful eyes to the bottom of your screen, no matter what screen you're looking at, whether that is your iPhone, your Android, your Cricket, your whatever screen, whether it's an iPad, a laptop, a notebook, whether it's your flat screen or big booty screen TV, whatever screen you're looking at. Bring your beautiful eyes to the bottom of it and look at that red bar at the bottom, and what it says is, this is for entertainment purposes only, and every single word is what? Alleged, and not to be used as facts. So anytime that you see this red bar at the bottom, the sentence inside applies.
All right. So, my regular sages, you guys already know that I like to give a basic summary of who these people are that I'm reading for. And this is for the people who don't know, who may tune into the video and have no idea who the person is, but still want to listen to their business. So, I'm going to go way back, but it's still going to be way short, okay? Just trust me and come along for this ride, all right? So, Marie Claire Beauvais, she was a nurse, and Axel Jean-Pierre, an attorney, a lawyer, are the parents of Garcelle Beauvais. After her parents divorced, her mother moved to Peabody, Massachusetts in the United States when she was 7. Originally, she only spoke French and Creole, but learned English from watching Sesame the Street on television. Very interesting. Cute little girl. Her nationality is Haitian and American. Beauvais, that is Garcelle, moved to Miami at 16 in an attempt to pursue a career in modeling. At 16, she was out, okay? She has 6 other siblings who are all older, so she's the youngest. So, after driving down from Massachusetts, Beauvais hoped to interview for a modeling agency without an appointment. She was approached at a red light while putting on lipstick by the very owner of the agency she sought to see. After modeling with this agency for about a year, Beauvais, now 17, went to New York to pursue a career as a fashion model after signing with Ford Agency and living with Eileen Ford. So here's the thing, you guys. This is where, her childhood summary stops, because just so that Dorit knows, she's been that girl since she was 16. Okay? She's been that girl, Dorit. All right. Continuing on. Now I'm just going to touch on where I first seen her. Okay? Coming to America, the original, part 1, okay? And that was about 20, I think some people said 30 years ago. You know what? At one point when I was talking about this movie, I did the math, and now I can't remember it because I got so much information in my head. But anyway, a long time ago. She was the head rose petal thrower, tosser, because the prince and the king and the royal family could only step upon the petals of a red rose. And she was the head flower girl, okay? Kind of like at weddings, but it wasn't a wedding. It was just because they was royal, okay? So this was about 20, 30 years ago. And now, in coming to America, which is part 2, continuation of the story 30 years later, or 20 years later, 20, 30, somewhere in there. She's the, I believe they referenced her official character as the priestess in the movie. So there she is in all her glory, all right, returning for part 2 of the movie. And I think and I saw the movie and I loved it, okay. Which brings me to a subject. I think I'm gonna start doing trending topics or hot topics. But anyway, back to Miss Beauvais, who don't play. And we're going to see why she's having it this way. All right. But anyway, this is just a image of her in the part 2. She was welcomed back for part 2, and she's the head priestess of the rose petal throwers. Okay. Then I loved her in something else. She was on a comedian named Jamie Foxx. She was on his show, which was entitled The Jamie Foxx Show. All right. And it lasted for 5 seasons. And it was funny. He was hilarious. They were in they ran a hotel business. And him and I was going to call her Fancy, y'all. Okay. Her character's name was referred to as Fancy, which is short for Francesca. All right. Jamie Foxx, the comedian, just loved Fancy, and just the show was about him pursuing her, basically, and him, their ups and downs of that. And it was funny to me, and I liked it. And it can easily slide and glide into my top 20 of all time favorite television shows. And if we want to put it just on sitcom alone, I'd say that my top 10. All right. Now, look at this photo. Look at this photo. Somebody come and look at this. To the right, they're still good friends today. All right. And there's evidence of that all over the internet. And I need not, even do that. But she was quoted as saying one time, which I'm paraphrasing, but something about she appreciated him believing in her like acting abilities, So anyway, I thought that was just wonderful. Then I want to talk about this. So Jamie Foxx is 53 and Garcelle Beauvais is 54. They look good. And it's getting to a point where I'm kind of like, I don't even know what the age is supposed to even look like. Okay? I don't even know what it's supposed to look like, because and I hate it when people ask me, how old do I look? I'd be like, no, I'm not playing that game. I am not playing that game. I don't like to play that game, because the reason why is because I'm thrown off. Okay? Look at these beautiful folks. This to me is what aging looks like. Like they haven't aged pretty much. Well, I can kind of see it on Jamie Foxx, and did y'all know that's not his real name? That's just his stage name that he made up because he felt like he had to have one. But anyway, this ain't about him. But on Garcelle, I can't really see an aging process. If you just if you just look at her face, but even if you look at her body, I can't see an aging process. So looking at beautiful people like this makes it, I can't stand it when people come up to me. And you guys will be surprised how many people come up to me and want to play that how old am I game. And let me tell you something. I've been off every time. Sometimes in a good way and sometimes in a bad way. It's 50-50. To where at this point, I refuse to play that game. I tell them I can pull out some cards and tell you how old you are spiritually. I'm better at that than I am at just looking at your face and guessing your age. Don't make me do that. You know, and here's the thing. Now, if I guess that you way older, let's pull out these cards and see why. All that stress in your face. You got stress in your face. Did you not want me to tell the truth? Anyway, moving right along. Miss Beauvais was the first black woman to join Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Now check this out. I was already watching it. I am not one of the people who I only started watching it because a black person is on there. Nothing against that. Everyone has their own, choices to make. Everything in life is a choice. And all I'm saying is I'm putting on the record that I've been watching it. But not been since the beginning. been like 2 seasons before Garcelle, maybe even 1. But before she joined, period. But I wanted to note she's the first black woman, to join Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And I'm going to be honest, I was nervous. Because being the first black anything and it's a lot of pressure on your shoulders. I've been the first black in a couple of things in my life, milestones and stuff, and it's a lot of pressure on you. And it's weird because you still got to be yourself. You know what I'm saying? But then it's like you feel like you hold all the black history on your shoulders, but you really, really don't. All you need to do is be yourself. So it feels weird, and it's a weird position to be in when you are completely aware that you're the first black person into a Caucasian-based area. Okay? Whatever that may be. So I kudos to her for jumping out and doing it. You know what I'm saying? Saying, hey, let's do this. I ain't tripping. Let's do this. But I said all that to say this. We can't forget that there is additional pressure on her shoulders for that. Okay? Now, I'm also going to say this. There's the same type of pressure on Crystal Minkoff's shoulders. We see how she's handling, don't we? We see what she's doing. Chill out. All right. I had to clear my voice. Let's continue. Garcelle handles Erika with kid gloves. That's how it seems to me. Kid gloves. In case anyone forgot, this is Erika. That's Erika. She's handling her with kid gloves. And looks can be deceiving because I did do a reading on her about why she really got divorced, the real reason, and I found out she was sensitive. She was soft inside, not this hardcore ice queen bitch that she portrays. That's not her. However, if that's the way you want to play it, if that's what you're giving me. See, you know what? One of my friends said, stop trying to act like you hard because you really soft. They told me that one time. I am soft, y'all. I am, really. However, I would like to imagine it if you coming, actually, you know what? I was going to say, if you coming at me hardcore, like you just an ice queen and fuck you, don't fucking talk to me and shut the fuck up, and which actually, well, if you coming at me like that, before I can go further, we'd have to, I believe I want to address that first. But I don't know, because at the same time, when I've been in those type of situations, I don't come at nobody. I don't meet hard with hard. I really don't. Realistically, I don't. If someone's coming at me all hard, I'm soft. I'm soft. But also at the same time, I have an innate ability to be able to see what area within them needs to be addressed or needs the attention. I'm able to usually, 100% of the time, when I'm in the situation, I can see what the issue is that needs to be resolved. And I address that and speak with the utmost sincerity. Which is not to say that I'm not implying that Garcelle is not. I mean, oh my gosh. I did this, you guys. I apologize. I did this mistake in the Karen and Garcelle reading as well. I kept calling Garcelle, and I wanted to slap myself. Okay. They are very different. I can't stand. I do not like Garcelle. I love Garcelle. But anyway, let's continue. But what I was saying is that the approach, Garcelle's approach, this is what we're going to dig into. Garcelle's approach towards this woman, this lady. You know, she's approaching her with kid gloves. That's how I feel. How do you guys feel? Let me know down in the comments. But I don't feel like she needs to be approached with kid gloves at this point. Maybe, probably, most likely in the beginning. But right now, hell no. No. Hell to the what? No. Hell to the no. So the question is, why? Why? Garcelle handles Erika with kid gloves, but why? In this reading, we are going to dive into her decision, Garcelle's decision to handle Erika with kid gloves. The past that impacted so strongly the present. The present is the reason she's made this decision. We're going to jump to the best of it that she sees is possible, and the worst of it that she sees as a possibility. And then what's to come. And y'all already know the energy. So let's sage this out. Okay, you guys. So we have, for the past, it's represented by the Empress, which is a lovely card upright, but this card was served to us in reverse. Now, let me say this. Due to the fact that Garcelle says all the time that her and Erika are alike. 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 Okay, since she says that all the time, I use the same deck that I used on Erika. I used with Garcelle for the main cards. And the reason being is because this deck is very plain, unassuming, and I want to say strong, but all my decks are strong, so it's not, so I can't say that, because then that applies that there's another deck that's weak. This deck is the one that reminded me of Erika, and so therefore I'm using it on Garcelle too, because Garcelle said that, and said so many times that she's like Erika. Now, what I'll tell you that I feel from using Erika's deck on Garcelle, they are not the same. They're not alike. I don't know where Garcelle is getting that from. And maybe you guys can drop down in the comments and let me know where you feel like she's getting that from. Where is Erika and Garcelle similar or the same? Besides, you know what? I can't even finish that. Now that's a shame. But nonetheless, I used this deck on Garcelle to see if it jumped up and was so clear and, concrete the way that it spoke to me when I used it on Erika. It didn't. So because of that, I had to use clarifiers, and I didn't use my clarifiers, but I used the clarifiers of the Modern Witch deck. Okay? So you guys are going to get clarifiers today for every card because it needed it. And I'm at the conclusion that Garcelle is not like Erika. Anyway, the Empress card, but in reverse. It refers to stagnation, a lack of growth, or a lack of encouragement in some area of her life. Point blank and period. I feel like this is referring to that incident that's in the past now as it pertains to, the last episode. But when she asked her about if Erika doesn't mind, let me tell you guys that Tom still calls her, that thing right there, this stagnation and lack of growth and lack of encouragement in the area, that's the area. That's the stagnation. That actually is the time where you could really see the wheels turning in Garcelle's mind when she said, look who's in here and look who's outside. Look who's here with me and look who's outside. And that's the first time that Bravo decided to show, which I believe that's the first time it really clicked in Garcelle's mind that they are divided. They are a divided group. Now, I'm going to tell you, Sutton gets it. She kind of sees that there's a divided group, but Sutton romanticizes everything. And if you watched the last session, but Sutton romanticizes things. So even though Sutton knew that there was a division, she thought that it would work itself out, that she would give that division some gifts, and I think that she feels differently now. The one who hasn't come to that conclusion about the division would be Crystal's not come to that realization yet that there's a division, including her. She's not on that side. She doesn't understand that yet, you guys. We'll watch the rest of this season, and I'm gonna be watching for any points or moments where she understands. She could stay blind for the rest of the season. I don't know. So my question in my mind is, will Crystal ever realize that, baby, you may feel like you are playing this game very well or playing both sides and this, that, and the other, but you're not on that side, sweetheart. You're not. You think you are, but you're not. You're not. You're not, honey. You're not with those girls. You're not. They haven't even accepted you, girl. I don't even know if all of them know how to say your last MF name, girl. Honey, you're not in that. You're not in that group. You're not in that group, honey. You've never, like Garcelle said, we've never heard of you. You've never been that girl. Anyway, so this is what that stagnation is about. It's about that incident when Garcelle realized, okay, there is a division in the group. For real. There's a difference between you suspecting something and then finding it out for real. And that is the moment that I like to call For real, for real. If you ever see me put in FRFR or say for real, what that's referring to is something that you suspected, but it's concrete now. It's confirmed now. We all have intuition and walk about this earth using it, period. Whether we are aware or not, we do. But it's one thing to kind of suspect or think something or feel something to when it is actually confirmed. And in that moment that it's confirmed, you get that feeling like, okay. Especially when it's something, this is pertaining to something that's adversary, when you see it, you might suspect something is adversary, but when you actually see it, you're like, oh, okay, I got you. Okay, I got you. For real. So that's what I mean by that. Now let's look at the clarifier. Clarifier for the past card is 9 of Pentacles. Yet again, beautiful, hardworking card. This is a card, you know what? Let me read the summary. I already know I get all up in it. I look at the card and I just go. Hard work and a professional attitude is what she was bringing with the incident of Erika. If you don't mind me saying, Tom still calls her, she thought that was how the game was played. Okay? Point blank period. She thought she was playing the game right. The reaction she received was not only wasn't warranted, but it was over the top, unnecessary, ill-fitting, and that's what made us say for real. It was unexpected on her part, and ours too, as just viewers, And what I'm talking about specifically when I say the reaction, I'm not talking about Erika. I'm talking about these are the lies. These are the days of the lies of also Lisa Rinna, so far as her saying, yeah, that's so fucked up. That shouldn't have happened. That's so fucked up. That shouldn't have happened. Which was the first time she had grabbed her boots and her coat because she was getting ready to go out the door when Kathy begged her to stay, and then later in Watch What Happened. It was after the show. Actually, I think she said it on both, and I was like, "Ooh, I think you might be a bitch." She said that she only did that, asked her to stay because people want to be begged to stay. That's all they want. They want to be begged, and when you beg them to stay, they'll stay. I beg your pardon? I beg your pardon, bitch? I beg your pardon, bitch? Bitch what? Kathy, I hadn't even made up my mind yet whether I liked you or not. I know everybody else is going up and up and up for you. You do say some funny things. You make a good meme. But just because you make a good meme, that doesn't mean I like you. And I knew there was a reason why I was kind of reserved on my opinion of Kathy. Because if y'all notice, I haven't made an opinion of Kathy. I use her as a meme, but I didn't make no opinion. I don't know. I'm watching her. Because she said that she only did that because she knew if she begged, because Garcelle wanted to be begged to stay. And she said it twice. And I'm like, ew. So you really believe that? And yes, she stayed after she asked her, but I don't feel like Garcelle in her mind was like, I want to be begged to stay. No, I think Garcelle wanted to leave before she cussed Rinna out. Okay. And you know what? I told myself I was going to try not to I told myself I would try to control my voice going into the higher pitch. As you guys can see, it didn't work. All right, so when you listen to me, take out the bass. Put the bass on the bottom or something, or the treble, whatever. But my point is that I know she wanted to. I know Garcelle in that moment she was leaving so that she didn't cuss out Skeletor, dancing Skeletor. Okay, that's why she was leaving. She wasn't getting up to leave because she wanted to be back happy. I don't give a damn if you are a Hilton. And that's great. And yes, you have more money than me. Great. And I'm just saying that sometimes I see in other people's comments when they say something about somebody, people will come in the comments and say, they got more money than you. And I'll be like, what the fuck does that have to do with anything? A lot of people on television that we watch has more money than us. So that don't mean that they're not doing nothing wrong. That don't mean that we can't comment on it. So anyway, moving right along, literally, but before we move right along, speaking of her leaving because she didn't want to cuss Lisa Rinna out, because I feel like she had enough of Lisa Rinna. Guess to the what? Coming up tonight, and hopefully I can get this loaded before the show. I was gonna say movie. Honey, it feels like a movie. It feels like a long soap opera. Look at me. Look at me. You want this life? Ain't that what Erika said? All right. Anyway, long soap opera. Supposedly tonight, Giselle's is supposedly, apparently, kinda, maybe gonna get up into Skeletor's ass and ask something about why were you not being a friend? What the fuck is your problem, Skeletor, bitch? Something like that. So let's continue. Let's continue. That's supposed to be tonight. But that goes directly back with, I know good and well she was leaving to not cuss her out. To not cuss out Skeletor. In the present is the Fool, upright. The Fool is the most powerful card in all the tarot deck when it is in the present position. For Garcelle, this is her taking a moment to make sure that she's not acting recklessly. Okay? Because she feels like she's taking accountability. She feels like she was reckless in that moment. Okay? She understood it. And let me say this, and let me remind you guys, it's not because everybody tore her up in social media about why would you do that, you're so wrong. Please understand and know and remember that these are recorded months, sometimes almost nearly a year ago. So me saying that she realizes that was reckless on her behalf, I'm connecting with that energy as we are seeing it. Which is why every once in a while when I ask these questions to you guys and I read these cards, every once in a while I'll say, oh, this is current bleeding in. This is current coming in. Because I'm not, certain things is on current. Like that Portia Fallon reading, that was current. But certain things like this, when we're talking about a TV show, it's in that TV show in that moment of time. Just to be clear. Again, which is why sometimes when I say, oh my gosh, the current is leaking in, coming in. Sometimes it does. Because Spirit is going to give me the highest message. So, anyway. Hopefully you guys understand. Now, back to this. She realized, Spirit is saying almost immediately, that was a reckless moment for her. Okay? So she's checking herself. Because she feels like she's looking like the fool, or someone has made a fool out of her, used her to be a fool, made a fool out of her, looking like a fool. They view her as a fool. Like, she's feeling foolish. Okay, so here it is. Spirit told me, after I done said like 10,000 words, Spirit finally saying she feels foolish. Okay, so she feels foolish. She feels foolish. Spirit, come through a little quicker, please. Let's continue. The clarifier for the present is in reverse, and it is Queen of Wands. This reverse queen says she's more introverted than usual. Instead of being the social butterfly in this situation, she prefers to hang in the shadows and watch what is going on. Booyah! Isn't that what we've seen? Is it not? That's what we've seen. And I'm going to say, people have been questioning, why isn't she speaking up for Sutton? Why isn't she speaking up for Sutton? First of all, of all the alls, in the hardest of the hearts, in your heart of hearts, first of all the alls, we must acknowledge that Bravo editors need to go to hell. I'm banishing them down to hell. Good thing for them, I ain't got that power. But we have no idea, especially going back to that dinner with Crystal, Erika, and Kathy, when they were dissing Sutton and saying, we never heard of Sutton. Shut the... Woo! Make me want to cuss. We don't know what all she said, because let me tell you something. Garcelle crossed her fingers and kind of had her chin on her hand and was looking at them. I recognize that type of look. That look, in my book, is when you're going over all the ways that you could read these motherfuckers. Okay? I said that to say this. I don't believe for a second that Garcelle sat there and didn't say shit while they talked about her friend. I don't believe that for a second. It's unfortunate that Bravo has set it up to kind of make it look like that may be the case, which is why I'm not a fan of the Bravo editing, because I understand editing to get the maximum effect out of your scenes, but editing it in a way to obscure the truth is effed up. But the clarifier for trying not to be reckless and feel foolish. And see, that's another thing. She feels foolish. Foolish because of what? See, I ain't done no reading on specifically whether or not producers told her to say this, whether or not she heard it from, I ain't done that. I just wanted to see how she felt about it. Get into it. I like to see people's feelings. I'm more about their energy and feelings surrounding that situation. And in that situation, she felt foolish. I think that's the answer, to be honest. Y'all ain't gonna get me in trouble. All this is alleged and not to be used as facts. But her feeling foolish or being made a fool of, I believe that's the answer. Okay? Because who made her feel like, why would she feel foolish? All right. Anyway, So it's made her more introverted. Meaning, she's, what she's doing? Less talking and more watching. Less talking and more walking. That's what Spirit said. My spirit is a rapper. One of my spirit advisors is a rapper. Come through. Less talking and more walking is what she's doing. But for real, she's watching. She's sitting back watching and paying attention and taking mental notes. You know how they say duly noted? I know whenever you hear me, if I ever, and I do this too. I do this in my real life. I talk to people, and when they say something, I say duly noted. If I'm a duly noted, I let them know duly noted. And I say that whenever it applies. It doesn't mean it's not only for if they want me to note something, because sometimes they may want me to note something and I'm not gonna note it because it's not worthy of a note. But anyway, but when I do duly note, and even if they don't want me to duly note something, when I know a person is lying, sometimes I look at them and say duly noted. They don't know what I'm noting. I'm noting that you a liar. Anyway. So this makes sense. Introverted. Okay? She's not being the social butterfly. She's just, like I said, hanging in the shadows and watching what's going on. Let's continue and go on. You guys, take a moment with me so that you can see what I see. Okay? Because there's a few possibilities. The best of it is reverse Daughter of Cups. The Daughter of Cups translates to Page of Cups. Okay? Or the Knave of Cups. Page, Knave, Daughter, Princess in some decks. This is the beginning of the royalty. And if you guys remember, the court cards, I tell you guys all the time, the royalty, the king, queen, the knight, and the page, those represent people. 99% of the time they represent people that majorly, are affecting this issue in that querent's life, or it's the querent. In this case, this is the querent. The querent, for me, in this session, is Miss Beauvais. Garcelle Beauvais. All right. This represents emotional vulnerability. This is when it all began to make sense to me. The dinner scene between them, their interaction. So allow me to explain. The best out of all of this is for Garcelle to be seen as emotionally vulnerable, with a connection of emotional vulnerability with Erika. The problem is, as Garcelle has said in one of her confessionals, she hasn't seen Erika emotionally representing her feelings towards Tom at all. No emotional representation for the victims at all. For real. Now, let's back. When I say no representation against Tom at all, let me be very clear. Her being upset that he didn't give her money, that's emotions about herself. That ain't about him. That's about how she feels about herself. How am I going to survive? Me. How am I going to get my next Dolce & Gabbana, whatever? That's me. He didn't give me money. Me, money. That's me. That's not about Tom. That's about her. She got emotional about herself. her shedding a tear about Tom having a brain injury or not being smart as he was when he was younger, whatever. That's also, that's, you know what, I'm gonna be nice. Okay, let's say that's about him. But still, what I was referring to when I say no emotional recognition or reaction towards Tom is him putting her in this goddamn situation. Anger, upset, pissed offness to the 10th. Something like that. That's what I'm referring to. Because no matter how much I love a person that I'm married to, I am going to be pit. First of all, let me tell you something. I wouldn't know nothing about this. And if I did know, I would have been gone, as soon as I sniffed it out. Because I couldn't even, I had a fiance, and this is 100% honest, and I debated on whether or not I should even share this with y'all, because y'all gonna be like, this is the most pickiest bitch in the world. No, I'm not, but I have morals. I found out that this person was stealing Don and Ty from their job. I couldn't be with them. I couldn't. I asked them to stop. I did ask them to stop because that's ridiculous. We can buy that. What the fuck is wrong with you? They didn't see anything wrong with it. I was out. There's no way I'd be able to be with someone who was doing worse than that. That was just tied and done. But it's still wrong. And karma comes around and collect the energy, what you put out. People really, really need to understand what you put out, you get back. Period. And this person, it's not like I just saw that and was like, I'm out. I talked about it with them and wanted them to stop. And they didn't see anything wrong with it, and they didn't want to stop. So I stopped being with them. All right, moving right along. So emotional vulnerability. For them to see, because now she feels like Garcelle feels like she's put in a sticky situation, a particular situation that this is new to her. She's trying to navigate. Spirit just said new and navigate. This is new territory that she has to navigate. See, okay, so with those previous cards, okay. Couple of things came up and I decided, no. I'm not going to say all of that because I'm not going to make the video long, but I think it's too late for that. But another thing that had came up was that Garcelle thought that this was going to be an easy peasy job, which we kind of seen evidence in that in the first season. The first season she had, because remember you guys, she was hardly there because she said, what? I'm working. I'm a single mom. I got 2 kids. I'm a single mom with 2 kids. I'm working. And I hated that narrative. And you want to know why? Because she's black. And even black people want to act like the only single moms out here working hard is the black women's. Every single race has single mothers working hard. Knock it off. God damn. Okay. But she was hardly there. And the excuse was officially it was she's working. All right. That's proof right there that she thought it was going to be easy peasy breezy, that she's going to breeze through. That didn't work. She's more present her second season. I was going to say this second season of hers. Her second season, she's more present. And see, I thought I had took care of that. That was my alarm. But anyway, she's more present, and more aware. That's the thing. You can be present and not be aware. Don't do that. That's never good, and I don't suggest it at all. And if anyone ever finds themselves in a situation where they feel like they're present, like their body is there, but they're just not aware, you need to examine that and go in deeper on what's going on. With that being said, I do personal readings. You can find that information in the description box below. But anyway, so this is where it began to make sense, because now she's rebranding herself. I feel like she wants to, in a way, rebrand. That's what I feel like that's saying. That's what I feel like that's doing. And she wants to be seen as being emotionally vulnerable, actually having the connection, being emotionally vulnerable and having a connection with Erika. She's hoping that that's going to pull out Erika's emotional vulnerability, and that would be the best. We're not even at the clarifier. Let's go to the clarifier. This clarifier was in reverse, 4 of Wands. 2 possible meanings. This card in reverse means that someone may be feeling uncomfortable in a situation. There is also a fear of being incompatible with the group, or with a group, with the group. Okay? Lack of support, instability, and feeling unwelcome. That's the clarifier. There's no surprise there. So because she feels that way, the best of the situation would be for her to connect, or either pull out and connect with Erika with the emotional vulnerability. That's what she's trying to do as a rebrand, quote unquote. Now, upright, the 4 of Wands is a beautiful pre-happy marriage card, meaning in reverse, this card could refer to Garcelle feeling unwelcome when it comes to Erika discussing the end of her marriage, or how it became upside down, especially after the hike and talk. So this is all like, after hike and talk, this is how she is rebranding herself, redoing it, rethinking, taking a pause to make sure she's checking in so that she doesn't look foolish again. Okay, very measured. She's measuring her reactions and her movements. Reactions, action, and movements are all measured at this point. Let's continue. Don't you dare click off thinking this is the end. It's not. What's worse is coming up. But first, what would be worse is if you didn't click like and subscribe and ring my bell. All right? Ring that bell so that you are aware of the very next, okay? The very next session. So, click like, click subscribe, go ahead and do it, because I'm still not at the point where I can go live with you guys. I need more of the watchers to subscribe, and thank you so much for the ones who have. I see you, I recognize it. That number is smaller now for the watch who subscribe versus the watch who's not subscribed. That it switched places. So thank you guys so much. All right. But now what you gotta do is share and get other people to subscribe so that you can see me live. And also, I am still working on what I'm working on in the background so far as calling in. But this is about Miss Beauvais. So go ahead. Miss Beauvais told me to tell you to click like and subscribe and ring my bell. Allegedly. But she didn't. Anyway, let's continue. And thank you for all your support. The worst is represented by 2 of Swords upright. Now you guys know, my regular sages, you know I go up for the swords. All right. The swords, I like the swords. Swords represents intelligence, slicing through bullshit. I love the swords. Knowledge, intelligence, air energy, communication, words. Swords are words. Two of swords usually represent some kind of decisive decision. Not just decision, but decisive decision. My summary says, feeling emotionally disconnected, or worse yet, being exposed as emotionally disconnected, especially after the plenty of times she proclaimed to be exactly like Erika. If Garcelle says that she feels emotionally disconnected with Erika, then she'll have to say she was wrong all season. So she's in a bit of a pickle. Because we saw what happened last episode. And hopefully I get this out before tonight's episode. But last episode is when they were at the dinner. I think it was called Dinner from Hell. When she tried to wipe her tears and she swung her head with a 180 pin back, swing back. Like what she claimed Tom did on that pin back road behind their house off the cliff. That's what she did with her head. She was like, it was like this. She swung that head. Swung it out, round, and back again. Okay. She was like, this is how this car went. Boom. Anyway, excuse me. So, she did that as Garcelle tried to wipe the tears. She did a pin back, swing back with that neck. All right. Erika. Then Garcelle held her, which is something I've done with people before. And she repeated, get your hands off of me. You can get your motherfucking hands off me. Remove your motherfucking black hands off of me. No, that's not how she said it. That's not even alleged. I'm not even alleging that. That was the translation in my mind. Okay? What she actually said was, you can remove your hands off of me. Black bitch. No, anyway, she told her to get her hands off of her. All right. Anyway, watch it if you want to see exactly how. Watch it. So, the worst would be, now, I'm going to be honest, in that moment, she was trying to emotionally connect with her. She was trying, she being Miss Beauvais. Garcelle was trying to emotionally connect with her because Garcelle said, God damn, let me tell y'all something. All y'all gonna see from me is emotional connection. From this point on, since y'all bitches, we separate now. This what we doing. This how we doing it. This what we doing. Y'all outside with her wooing. And I'm in here with my good girl Sutton. And then this half good girl, but she might be a spy, Crystal. She was like, okay, that's what we doing. All y'all gonna see from me from this point on is emotional connection and vulnerability. All right, so the worst would be if they didn't see that at all. And the worst would be not only if they didn't see that, but if they tied it back to her talking out in La Quinta or La Quinta about if it's okay with you, Erika. Tom calls her all the time. If they connect it back with that as to say this is the reason why you lied and you're not actually emotionally connected with her. You understand what I'm saying? If they use that as an excuse as to say, oh, you're lying. Because Garcelle says it all the time that they're connected, they're alike, blah, 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 blah. Okay. And they was out kicking it. They were not no more. I ain't seen nothing lately now. I ain't seen nothing lately. But and I was gonna put all of my proof in this video, but y'all know it would be longer, and so I'm just doing the, I'm cutting out the stuff that I feel like would be an unnecessary, making it lengthier. And I might do a version like on the cutting floor or something like that, where we gonna just talk about stuff that I did not include, okay, for the even nosier sages that just wanna, look and sage and look. Just extra bonuses. Don't Bravo do that all the time? Extra bonuses, never before scenes and stuff. All right. Anyway, so that would be the worst. Would be to use that and say, "Oh, you're not emotionally connected," like you keep saying. So my summary says feeling emotionally disconnected, or worse yet, being exposed as emotionally disconnected, especially after the plenty of times she proclaimed to be exactly like Erika. If Garcelle says that she feels emotionally disconnected with Erika, then she'll have to say she was wrong all season. Now, my question to you guys, will she do that? Do you think she's gonna end up coming out and saying, I thought we were close, or I thought we were similar? Because she proclaimed, she might not say close. I know she ain't gonna say close no more. Whatever she's already said, whatever Bravo was already recorded, Garcelle and saying close, they got that. But what I'm saying is, after this point, like right now, she's not gonna say close anymore. So any footage they may have of her connecting with Erika, I think this gonna be older footage from when they was recording. It ain't gonna be nothing as of right now, recent today. Versus, and I say that because her and Sutton's still cool as of right now today. They still interact and interact on social media and support each other on social media, and they're friends in real life, like I said. So it's quite possible. But as we all know as well, what's her name? Kyle had said, Garcelle's not following me and she's not following Rinna. And then Rinna said, and I don't care. I don't know why she wouldn't follow me because I'm fun. I am Skeletor dancing and gyrating like a skeleton. Okay. If you want to see skeletons gyrate, tune in to me. Champagne Poppy does. Which his account was hacked. He don't want to see no gyrating skeleton. Anyway, so will she do that? Do you guys think Garcelle will come out and say, I was wrong when I said that Erika and I were so much alike? Now, at this point of the game, what would you do right now? In the situation that Garcelle's in, where they're trying to look at her and like she already feels foolish for what she did for whatever reason. Because who making her feel foolish? But she feels foolish, all right? That was out there. And she's not going to do that anymore. She doesn't want to appear or look against her at all. She's already been saying that. And I think she sincerely did feel like they were alike. But you know what? I don't feel like she feels like they are the same anymore. Would you, right in the middle of it, say, I made a mistake, we ain't the same? If that came up in conversation somehow, some way, would you say, look, check this out, I thought we was the same, we're not, because she overreacted when it came to me? Like, what would you say? Would you say it, or would you just, since you know this is a TV show and this is a game, would you just hush and just watch and interact when, if at a time where it benefits where you're going? And was this an innocent mistake? What I mean by that, Was it an innocent mistake for Garcelle to say, Erika, you and I are alike. Erika, you and I are alike. We are the same. We're just alike. Or was it a mistake at all? Because even for me to ask, was this an innocent mistake? That's the assumption that it was a mistake. So, was it a mistake? If you feel like that, was it an innocent mistake? And will she end up saying we're not alike? Or will she clarify it? Will she clarify the alike and not alike? And would you? All right, moving right along, because we ain't even at the clarifier for the worst. Let's go to the clarifier for the worst. The clarifier for the worst is 4 of Swords in reverse. So twice as many as the card it's clarifying. So we started out with 2 of Swords upright. And that's clarified by 4 of Swords reverse. The worst for her would be to appear in dire need of constant stimulation to feel included in a way that brings herself peace. Honey, that's a mouthful. This is clarified by a card that's saying what she imagines to be the worst would be if these ladies get from her actions and words, her being Garcelle's actions and words, that she needs constant attention, constant stimulation, meaning it's more than attention. It's like you need to be complimented, you need to be acknowledged, you are needing activity from us constantly in order for yourself to feel good about yourself and to have any peace within this group. We have to constantly stroke your ego, quote unquote. And all this is alleged. I'm just saying what I'm telling you. I'm not saying that as facts. I'm telling you what would be the worst in Garcelle's mind to come of this decision that she has made on how to handle Erika. Okay? Part of what she would see as the worst, and I have to agree, would be if these ladies take from this that Garcelle somehow needs constant stimulation to feel included. And in a way, okay, in a way that brings her peace. So that means even if you're doing something to include her, you got to make sure that she feels like it's in a way to include her. Get what I'm saying? That would be the worst in Garcelle's mind, is for them to think that this is the attention that she needs. This is the needy level that she's on. That would be the worst. We're going to see, because like we saw episode before last, when Garcelle said to them, I don't know where I stand with this group. I feel like this is where this card is coming from. Because with this card, at first I was like, card, where you coming from? Where you coming from, card? Where you coming from? Yeah, coming from that. That's the seed planted when she said, I don't know where I stand with this group. Boom. Here we go with this mess. The worst of it would be for them to take that statement and feel like she is in dire need of constant stimulation in order to feel included in a way that brings her peace. Let's keep going. What's to come is the 9 of Cups upright. That's high self-esteem, being seen and appreciated by those around you. That's what's to come. Let's look at the clarifier. What's to come clarifier is reversed Queen of Cups, which means Queen of Cups is a sensitive soul and a good listener. That's what it means upright. It also references as a mother, partner, or friend. The Queen of Cups is affectionate, loving, and warm. But in this case, although it was in reverse, I feel like it still means exactly that. Okay? And it does. Let me tell you why. What Garcelle's card is saying is that she has traded this natural self for a lesser version of herself. And that's what we've seen, or we're getting ready to see. She traded the Queen of Cups for the Nine of Cups. Will this pay off? Here we are at the energy influence. And I'm not surprised at what it is right before our eyes. The Five of Wands reversed. Okay. 5 is conflict. 5 in tarot is conflict, okay? This card was reversed. This is the energy that she has right now, going in. And actually, and I said right now, and I honestly feel like not just like right now as in after, because I know some of these cards are directly related to the aftermath of the Erika blow up at Garcelle when she asked about if she can say Tom be calling her. This is how she felt all along. Even before that. Reverse 5. 5 is conflict. Reverse conflict. Okay, that means no conflict. Or no conflicts, plural. Which is it? And yes, we need to know. Now, let me say this. No conflict would mean that she is only focusing on not having a conflict with Erika, and who gives a damn about conflict or no conflict with everybody else. That's singular. Conflicts, no conflicts, is exactly that. No conflicts with anyone. Unless warranted, she will not entertain any useless, unnecessary, or made up ass conflicts. I.e. Dory. Girl. So I believe it's plural. And that's the difference that it makes. No conflict in this reading would just be she's just worried about no conflict with Erika. Like that's the only person she's worried about. No, she don't want no conflicts with the whole entire group. But the thing about it is they don't want none with her. It ain't like she don't want the smoke. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the way she lives her life is very authentic, and her energy is one of I'm going in, not wanting any conflicts, which is the reason why she's as blunt as she is when she speaks. I'm not making an excuse for her saying, hopefully Erika don't mind, but bada bing, bada boom. That's not the way that should have went down at all. Especially if you're genuinely concerned about if a person minds. If you're concerned about if a person minds, you're going to give them the time to mind. To state their mind, if you cared about if they mind or not. Okay, you give them time to mind. But saying it to the group about if they mind, if you say it to the group while you're saying it to the group, don't look like you care if they mind or not. But just joining the show, I believe she wanted zero conflicts. Coming back for the second season after being warned by Rinna already, because this was before the season even started. Giselle had said that Rinna had told her the second season is when we haze folks, and Giselle's response was, so you trying to say you're gonna haze me next season? She said, I don't know, we'll see. So she said, all right, bring it on. Now I seen her in one of them interviews, one of them little where they put the mic in your face, they catching you, they put the mic in your face. I don't remember which one. That's why it ain't here quoted, and I'll remind everything is alleged, but I seen that. So they are bringing it on. Shit. Garcelle said, bring it on. They bringing it. But still, ultimately, she doesn't want any conflict with anyone. So it's 5 toes down in reverse, not wanting any conflict with anyone. Let's check out this clarifier. This clarifier is 10 toes down. Don't want no goddamn conflict with nobody. Now y'all listen. That's that's how I feel her energy is. Like, look, this is so funny to me sometimes. Well, it's not funny, but it is funny. Sometimes when when the card itself clarifies itself, it happens on rare occasions with, some of my readings, but it does happen, and that tickles me a little bit. I don't exactly know why it tickles me, but because you know what, when a card clarifies itself, to me, that's that Nene Leakes, I said what I said, and so it's funny to me. So this one, it did more than clarify itself. It doubled down itself. In reverse, 10 of Wands is the clarifier of reverse 5 of Wands. 10 in reverse, in this case, is simply doubling down. No conflict. We can understand why her energy is this way. Truly. Right? Right? I mean, look what happened the last time. Well, wait, not the last time, but look what happened. And of course, you guys, remember, this is about Garcelle's energy towards Erika. For the days of their lives edition of Tarot Spills the Tea. All right, but the way that the days of Erika's lies has affected Garcelle has been negative. When Garcelle's energy has actually been one of peace and not wanting any conflict. And let's deal with it and let's get resolution. That's how she's handled the rest of the girls. But with Erika, she was apologetic. And I could understand that because, Erika was being sensitive. And Miss Beauvais was coming at Erika as a softer position because they related with emotional vulnerability, remember? All right, so she's approaching her softer, and also because she's going through some stuff, and so she wants to show that she is sensitive. All right. She saw where that got her. Separated, dejected, ejected, rejected. And then, we get 2 episodes down, Dorit feels like she's an easy target. Garcelle may be an easy target, but she's not an easy win, bitch. And I'll say it again. Dorit felt like Garcelle was an easy target. She found out she wasn't an easy win. So fuck you and fuck you and fuck you, okay? And I lost the bet between my mother and I. She said that she was talking to the same person, and I said, no, she went around that table, and, well, I lost because all them fuck yous was towards Dorit. However, I got confused because she turned and grabbed her purse. But the little preview, I couldn't really see that. I just saw her turn while she was talking and saying, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck your toes. Fuck your baby toenail, okay? Fuck it. Hope it fall off. I saw her head rolling, turning, and I thought she was talking to the whole table. But she wasn't. All of those reserved and very well pronounced. Calmly, might I add. Very calm cuss out. That was a very calm cuss out. I thought I was the only one who could deliver some calm cuss outs. I'll be so calm and whispery, you won't even, honey, my ass will sound like Janet Jackson cussing your ass out. You won't even know what the fuck just happened. Anyway, You know what? I make people feel good when I cuss them out. I really do. They feel good. And they usually apologize to me. And I know my mom one time said, how the fuck people apologizing to you? I said, because they were wrong. And I explained the wrongness, and then I dig into that ass. And people usually apologize to me for having me feel like I got to cuss you out. Because that's not where I'm coming from. Ever. Ever, ever, ever. So I totally understand Garcelle right now. You know, the 5 is in reverse. 5 of Wands is conflict. They be 5 of Wands be fighting. 5 of Wands is fighting. 5 of Wands is those like elementary boys with big sticks fighting each other. They just all just fight. You know, and it means conflict. So it was in reverse, which means she don't want that. And then her clarifier was 10 of Wands. Let's double down. And that was reverse. She really, really doesn't want that. And I understand. So that was her energy behind all of this decision making that she's doing with what I call kid gloves. I was gonna say kid boxing, but I mean kid gloves. Handling Erika with kid gloves, because she already saw trying anything different besides her handling her with kid gloves is not gonna. Garcelle feels like it's not gonna turn out good. It's not gonna look good if she does anything besides what she's doing right now in the manner that she's doing it. Now, let me also say this. Oh, I said it earlier, I believe, because honey, this was just on my mind so much and so hard and so bad. I'm sure she said something to those women at that dinner. Okay, before I leave up out of here, I have to say, I believe editing took it out. Editing only showed what they wanted to show because they felt like the viewers would be in an uproar to say, oh my goodness, why didn't Garcelle say something at that table when Sutton wasn't around when they were talking about Sutton? I am willing to bet, I don't know, the highest amount of money that Garcelle did say something at that table to them. I'm sure she checked them in a very good, nice, nasty, classy, sassy way. I feel like she did. More than what, I know they showed us a snippet of, in that little confessional and stuff. I'm talking about face to face. I'm talking about face to face. Anyway, let me calm myself. Let's keep going. And here we are. We've reached the end. And this is what I ultimately want to relay. I think Garcelle is playing the game with those bitches, and she's surviving it. I think she's doing a good job because, you know, she has to, it's checkers for them, but it's chess for Garcelle. Okay? Here's the quote I have for you guys. Survival was my only hope. Success, my only revenge. Please remember to click like and subscribe. Take in that quote, because to me that's the spirit of Garcelle. Okay? And I give her props. She has more patience than I do, because there's a few times where even though I did this reading, I still feel like I would have checked Erika. I would have checked Erika. I would have checked Crystal. I would have. And I'm not for sure what all Kathy the Hilton had said, because I'm sure we're not privy to all of it, but if she needed a check mark, she'd get one too. Hey, I love myself. Shit. And Jesus loves me. And that's all I'm worried about. I'm not worried about if Kathy liked me, if Crystal liked me, if Erika liked me. And I'm not saying that Garcelle is worried about it. I'm just saying I would have said what I said. But out of that mood and moment, the quote, survival was my only hope, success my only revenge. Read down, Giselle. Do what you got to do. Not Giselle. Oh my God. Ugh. Garcelle. I'm gonna have to light some sage. All right, you guys. Click like and subscribe. Thank you.